Yo, what up? This is D Knight, and you're listening to the Pardon the Interaction podcast. My oh my, we've had so much going on. For starters, in case you missed it, we've got a new addition to the Pardon Pie family, Tara Dublin. Make sure you go follow her on Twitter at Tara Dublin Rocks. Also, pick up a copy of her book while you're at it. Make her day, The Sound of Settling. A very fun and interesting read compared to the things we talk about on this podcast. But yeah, we're heading toward the do or die time for the 2024 election. Go ahead and hit up joebiden.com. Get that man like $1 a month or something. Help his campaign staff up and get prepared to try and save our democracy. And make sure to grab like one other person you know and tell them about the podcast. Make sure they subscribe and tune in every single week. We got a lot of things coming up for you this year. We need all the support that we can get. So if you do your part and help us grow our audience, we'll do our part and help elect Joe Biden in 2024 and save American democracy. And this is the Pardon the Interaction podcast. Carol, Ty, you remember how to do this, right? I know it's been a couple weeks. You had the COVID, like your brain's probably jello. I don't know how functional you'll actually be when you have to like talk in a way so that it's like entertaining to other people who are listening. Hey, COVID brain is real. It's some real shit. You know, I'm like, the flu doesn't do that. All right. Anyway, just, it's okay. You ain't got to be great. You just got to be here. That's the most important thing.
I'm here. And I'm awake.
You come here, man.
And I'm awake.
Yeah. Super Bowl week. If anyone, maybe you get that joke, Carol. I know you have no idea.
Broncos won last night.
Who, what? Oh, yeah. Man, that was crazy too.
It was fun. Dave's a Broncos fan. And it was nice to go, and we played darts.
Yeah, excited for him to see like the Broncos win a game, but like it means nothing. It doesn't mean anything for the Broncos. They're not doing anything. They're a fucking disaster. You know what? They're getting better over the course of the year, which, for my sports ball opinion, means that the coaching is actually good. Because usually teams, even if they have talent, if they have bad coaches, they get teams with bad coaches get worse over the course of a season. And but I mean, of course, they started off so bad that like you could only anyway. All right, no sports ball tonight. no sports ball. All right, so
I wanted to be a sports blogger.
Did you?
I did.
You like sport, but you like everything. You were like,
literally, I wanted to be a sports blogger, and
you were a Renaissance woman, like politics, sports, food.
Died, when I was like first getting back on Twitter and stuff, and we would have like. Hold
on, you wasn't like talking to Stuart Scott personally, were you?
I was.
You was in Stuart Scott's DMs.
I was.
He wasn't gonna hook you up with no job, but he was gonna hook you up with some D. He was on that Harry Dunn. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, look, no, we got to do this for real, so Carol can go to sleep. All right. I've killed an hour of time not doing anything. That's my fault. I'm sorry. Okay, I'll count us in. We'll do our normal thing. We'll sell our sheets from Sheets and Giggles. Ty, even though you fell asleep on him, he did say that he'd be more than willing to offer us like mattresses and pillows and all kind of shit. So you just get your whole bedroom done. No, it's okay. I was thinking about pitching him on telling him, can he like send us some stuff like a mattress and shit, and then we'll like model on his products, we'll, like take pictures and post them and be like, you know, cuddling up with the pillow, or Carol, you can do something sexy on the mattress with your cat.
I can't believe
For what now? Is he going to send us pillows?
Yeah. He was like, hey, is there anything you want? He was like, get a mattress, get some pillows, get whatever.
I can't believe I fell asleep.
Yeah, but then you said you didn't feel comfortable asking him. So I was like, I guess I won't, but I want a pillow.
No, I wasn't gonna ask him like the second he got, like we stopped recording the podcast. I don't mind like being like, hey man, you want to send us some stuff? We'll like do a free promotional campaign with your shit.
I will wear my t-shirt.
So instead of on the mattress with no pants, so instead of like dressing doggo, you can do cat and like, I don't know. I hadn't thought it all the way out, but you know what I was. Anyway, all right.
Our sponsor is like coming on to speak.
It's okay. He didn't care. He knows we're unprofessional. I've told him this a number of times. I told him before he came on, just like, hey man, I know like normal podcasts, you're like, oh, it's a like fucking professional environment. I was like, not here. It's like, and I also told him like, don't worry, like we'll edit out anything that you don't want like to be public if we flub and he was actually pretty good. Like we didn't do no work. We was just like, all right, what's up, Colin? He's like, all right, let me give you like 40,000 hours of thinking in a single podcast. Like I put all my thoughts and distill it into.
And Ty fell asleep.
We didn't know you fell asleep. I thought your internet connection died or something. All right, I'll count us in.
I knew.
Okay, this part is probably going on the podcast because this is funny. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, this is D Knight.
This is Carol.
This is Ty.
And you're listening to the Pardon the Insurrection podcast, where
we stay awake 2/3 of the time.
I was going to say that it's a podcast about how to stop insurrections, not start them, because that's very important context. Because I know
how to not pardon insurrections. So we're anti-insurrection, but we're pro-pun.
Yeah, we're very pro-pun around here. Very anti-insurrection, just in case someone saw the title of this podcast and be like, yeah, I support the January 6th insurrection. Go Trump 2024. Make America great again. Yeah, so we had a bunch of news developments over the course of the last week or so. I mean, it's been absolutely insane. If you're anything like me, and I am as, well read as any like the average American, I'm far more well read than them, and I can't keep up with shit. But yeah, no, Kevin McCarthy apparently attacked a GOP representative out in the hallway in the Capitol building. Representative Burchett earlier today. Senator Mullen from Oklahoma, also a Republican, almost got into a fist fight with a congressional
the guy
witness.
With 4 first names.
Yeah, whatever. I can't even.
Mark Wayne.
Mark Wayne Mullen.
When you have that many first names in your name, like things are destined to go poorly.
I trolled his ass and said,
Well deserved. The Supreme Court instituted ethical rules that aren't even rules, like
ethical suggestions.
Suggestions is very strong language there. Judge Cannon effectively delayed the classified documents trial from the documents that were seized in Mar-a-Lago practically until 2025. MAGA Mike Johnson caved and passed the bill to fund the government with no spending cuts, which was a surprise, but of course, it was eventually going to happen. I guess he'll get Kevin McCarthy soon, and a lot more other things that we won't get the chance to talk about on the podcast this week because we've got other more important shit to get to. But before we do that, let's give a shout out to our sponsor, Sheets and Giggles. Of course, we are fans of Sheets and Giggles. They have the most amazingly soft and luscious sheets imaginable. I sleep on them bitches every night. I don't even wash them. I don't care how dirty my sheets is, because like my crappy sheets, they just put them to shame. I'm scared to even put them on the bed for even a night. That's
Colin, baby, darling, Bubba, get this man another pair of sheets. So
yeah, come on, Colin. I need another set of sheets so I can like wash the ones on my bed. It's like when you like touch a celebrity, you're like, I'll never wash my hand again.
Hairs don't work out, boo.
Yeah, that's how I treat the sheets from Sheets and Giggles. I can't even bear to take them off my fucking bed. I'm just rolling around in like dirt and cum stains and okay, I've gone too far. I'm sorry. All right, so make sure you go check out sheetsandgiggles.com, and of course, if you would like a discount, you can check the show notes. We have some links for a discount there. Get you a little bit off on behalf of Pardon Pod. And of course, you can always pick up a gift card for your loved ones, given that the holiday season is rolling around. I think Colin is promoting some $69 digital gift cards. Yes, $69 gift cards on Sheets and yes, they are the nicest digital gift cards in existence.
And I'm just gonna chime in and say, if you're unclear about how to best care for your sheets, You should read up online or even on the Sheets and Giggles website and or anywhere besides listening to Dee's advice and having gross, nasty cum sheets. Wash your fucking sheets.
Oh dear. Okay.
And then we continue.
I wasn't expecting that, Carol.
What?
No, I was not.
Oh no, it hurt his feelings. I'm sorry. I love you.
Nah, like I don't expect anybody to sleep with my sheets but me. More sheets and giggles for me. All right, on to the news. Just shoot me in the face at this point because it's look. All right, just zooming out for like 2 seconds. We make a lot of jokes in this fucking podcast. We have a lot of fun. We try to make it entertaining and semi lighthearted, and like that's all by design because we want to make the crazy shit that's going on in the world like emotionally digestible as much as we want to make it like, you know, logically digestible. That aside, Republicans, if they win, they're going to fucking destroy the country and we're all going to die. And like, I mean that from the most serious place possible. So like, again, we're about to relay some like deeply dark, serious shit to you. Even if that's wrapped in jokes, those jokes are just covering our anxiety about our impending doom. All right. So Trump went full Nazi this weekend, and you're like, what do you mean full Nazi? Wasn't he like hanging out with Nazis at fucking Mar-a-Lago with Kanye and some other? Yes. I mean, and that was like closet Nazi, right? That was like soft Nazi.
Closet Nazi, soft Nazi.
Yeah. You know how it's like,
I didn't know. Plausible deniability Nazi.
Yeah, the plausible deniability has gone out the window. He's literally quoting Hitler at this point. At his Iowa rally. It was off the chain. Like, I suggest you actually not look up the videos, but I mean, like, you don't have to take our word for it. If you want to hear word for word what he said, you can go listen to it. It's available online. And then he like anyway. So he's saying a bunch of crazy shit. And we're like, oh, the Washington Post was like, hey, man, it's actually kind of fucking crazy. And then he doubled down on it on Truth Social, writing, and this is in repeating verbatim what he said at the rally, which was insane. So he wrote on Truth Social Saturday, and of course, this was on Veterans Day. So this is like just a double whammy of insanity, and that rhymed. Go me, pat myself on the back. And this is direct quote from Trump. In honor of our great veterans on Veterans Day, we pledge to you that we will root out the communist, Marxist, fascist, and radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country, who lie, steal, and cheat on elections, and will do anything possible, whether legally or illegally, to destroy America and the American dream. The threat from outside forces is far less sinister, dangerous, and grave than the threat from within. Despite the hatred and anger of the radical left lunatics who want to destroy our country, we will make America great again, blah, blah, blah. So important notes here, like this whole calling your political foes vermin.
Yeah, he plagiarizes Hitler like Melania plagiarizes Michelle Obama, except, you know, she just chose it. But now it looks a little better for her. She chose a better idol, at least.
Yeah, you know, at least Melania is like quoting someone that I look up to. And I'm sure a lot of people look up to Hitler, but like, that's the wrong kind of role model, in case you were wondering. Ty, you remember what happened in the 1940s all across the world here? Thanks to you know, the German chancellor who made himself Führer.
I kind of feel like it was like some like
we agreed to never forget. We agreed.
Carol, that was 9/11.
What?
Yeah, no.
I couldn't never forget that because I forgot it. I mean, I forgot that was the never forget that we weren't supposed to forget about. Yeah,
totally understandable. No, I think the saying as it goes pertaining to Hitler is that like there was only one of those. You know, there's only one Hitler. That's why you typically don't tend to see people invoke Hitler, because they're like, no, There was only one. Yeah, but the idea with that is that's because anytime anyone else picks up where we left off, we're like, no, absolutely not. Well, in this case, no one seems to give a fuck. He's gone full
He
Hitler.
has gone full Hitler. And you know, me growing up in Cold War Europe and the Holocaust, like I've been to Dachau, you know, and
you grew up in Cold War Europe?
Yeah, I did. My mom was stationed like in the 80s, and
Where?
we lived in a tiny German
Love how
town.
she just dropped that casually, and I'm like, I feel like
it would have been fucking awesome if you had informed us of this like hours ago, so we would know. I could have threw this to you, and you could have regaled us with stories from your time in Cold War. You know what? You did tell us stories about the Russian government, and it never occurred to me to think like, I wonder how the fuck you know like what's going on with that. Yeah. So yes, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, and we grew up in this tiny German town, Wiedershausen. And I've been to Dachau. And it was mandatory to learn German. And, you know, the study of the Holocaust was, you know, mandatory as well. So when, like, going to Dachau, then, like, fucking what, 89, whatever, it was so fucking chilling. Like just like you could feel the death all around you. And to hear these words, to hear him like saying these things, it just, you know, it runs my blood cold. It does, like in so many ways. And that was also like, you know, when I was living in Germany, it was also the time when it was split in two, you know, East and West. And so that like resonated with me, like that imprinted on me, like World War II and the Holocaust, and like I can't reconcile in my fucking mind like how anyone can, and to hear the people at his Klan rallies and they're clapping and they're like, and like I just can't fucking understand it. I can't. Okay, continue, dear.
And that concludes this episode of Pardon the Insurrection. All right, thank you for giving us your closing thoughts 2 minutes into the podcast. Yeah, that's all right, shoot me in the face, because if we lose in 2024, we're all fucking doomed. You know, this when he was saying he's going to build the wall, I didn't realize he meant he was going to build the Berlin Wall in fucking America. All right.
I've been saying that all along. Dictators don't build walls to keep someone out.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct about that. Yeah, so Trump's campaign spokesman, after massive amounts of criticism about Trump's comments, tripled down on Trump doubling down on the comments he said at his rally by saying, and this is Stephen Chung, of course, he reacted to the criticism of Trump's comments by telling the Washington Post that, quote, "Those who try to make that ridiculous assertion are clearly snowflakes grasping for anything because they are suffering from Trump derangement syndrome, and their entire existence will be crushed when President Trump returns to the White House."
Yes.
Yeah,
so
upon
people
being
who are saying I am a fascist, I shall show them that I am not by killing them for saying I am a fascist.
I'm going to show them I'm not a fascist by being a fascist.
Yeah, you understand how this works, apparently. Yeah, and then apparently he must have realized at some point, or him, Stephen Chung, or someone smarter than Stephen Chung, must have realized that the comments he made in response to the criticism were a little out of hand. So he decided to tone down the fascist rhetoric by replacing your what was it, total existence with sad and miserable existence. So he didn't like tone down the actual fascism. He just
just make it like a little prettier. The fascist candidates who say things in a nicer way tend to do better.
They're fancying up the fascism.
I'm sorry, I mean they pull
fancy
better.
fash.
Yeah, your entire existence won't be destroyed. Just your miserable existence.
Then only the good existence is left. Yay.
Yeah.
Well, pogroms.
Yep. Oh man. Oh. Yeah. Carol, I'm sorry. I know you like, I don't know. Did your family immigrate here at some point from the Europe? Some point in your family?
No, I'm Native American. Yeah. Yes.
All right. Look, we all immigrated here one way or another. Where we was, in your case, I'm sure your family had an option. Mine didn't. But no, I was just saying, because of course, like
well, it depends which family do you count. I mean, do you consider like remaining in Russian controlled areas and instead of fleeing pogroms? Do you consider that really an option?
It was
stay
all
and die
bad,
or like go.
It was all bad over there at the time. Like Russia, like we always slander Germany for this, but like Russia wasn't exactly doing great about the Jewish community. Anyway, yeah, I was just curious because
I think that like the Jewish part of my family came in like the late 19th century.
Yes, that's what I was curious about. Did they like beat the rush to get over here and escape? Well, I'm sorry your family tried to do you a service by fleeing anti-Semitism in some regard, and then only for America. They weren't in Germany. They were like, Ukraine. Hey man, it was a lot of anti-Semitism going on in the 1800s as well. It's nothing new.
The border here was a place where a lot of Russell's dad, like when he fled Syria, in like I don't know, 30s, 40s or whatever. And he would tell me about his dad, like literally eating banana peels off of the ground to not starve. And they had a policy to not let the Jews in that were coming from like Eastern Europe.
Where in the US?
And that time.
Or in Syria.
But yeah, and also, and they kept them over there and wouldn't let them in to cross the bridge. Yeah, he's like, my dad ate banana peels off of the fucking ground, like not to fucking starve.
And they were like, no, we can't let the Jews in to eat our banana peels. Fuck them.
Yeah, or the fucking Syrians, or whoever. And that's what's so like crazy to me with like Russell now, because he has this book from Dinesh D'Souza.
Oh, for God's sake. All right, the bigger point I just wanted to get to, because we ain't talking about no fucking Dinesh D'Souza.
Yeah, fuck that.
Is that like...
he's got book.
Fuck him.
Fuck him right off the podcast.
Yes, fuck him right off the podcast along with his book.
We're going to talk about Jenna Ellis.
Well, before we get to that, I mean, it's just the bigger point I wanted to make is like, yes, we're aware of what's going on in Israel and Gaza at this point. And like, no, I don't condone the way the Israeli government is handling shit over there in Gaza. Like they have a Trump running their government. And I would like to also point out that like, just like America, a majority of people did not vote to have that motherfucker Bibi Netanyahu over there running shit. Like he made an alliance with their version of the Tea Party over there. But like that aside, like there's rampant anti-Semitism, just endless amounts of it going on in America. And like, given that Trump's out here quoting Hitler, it just does not bode well for the future. Like people, anyway, I'm just
isn't it? It's fun being a Jew right now. We're like,
oh man,
It's fun being a Jew.
Where the left wing is like, I'm like, oh great, left wing people are against me, and I'm like, oh, right wing people seem to be for this, but not in the ways I am. They're really aggressive about it.
Yeah. It's not
I think
great.
they just want the apocalypse to come.
It's not ideal. Yes, that
They're
is
like, yes, war over the temple.
That's
Dude, let's just yeah. You guys fight right there. Yeah.
Yeah, you found the missing link as to why the Republicans and the conservatives are rooting for Israel, even though they're fucking Nazis. Yeah, you got it. They're rooting for the apocalypse.
Well, and for the destruction of Islam.
Oh man, well they're not gonna get that. Anyway, but just it's hard times out here, man. Just, Carol, lucky for the Jewish community, you're not easily identifiable by the color of your skin. That's why you be wearing the yellow armbands. Hope you have that to look forward to at least. All right, just shoot me in the face. Jesus Christ. Yeah, maybe I should have saved that one for last because now the entire
because now we're going back to Jenna Ellis.
Well, look, yeah, that was dark. This will perk you up. Sidney Powell. And
it's okay, I'll still be Jewish at the end of the episode.
Well, I'll always be black, Carol. Sydney, which probably won't bode well for me if Republicans ever win back the White House, because they're going to round us all up and put us into camps. Thanks, Ty. Thanks for that contribution. All right, so like, here's a little pick me up. Sidney Powell and of course, Jenna Ellis pled guilty in the RICO case in Georgia a couple weeks ago. Well, it appears that someone who the videos of their proffer sessions had been made available to in discovery leaked those videos to the press yesterday. And there was some very revelatory information in each of their proffer sessions, which probably gives, one of the things I've been concerned about when they made their guilty pleas is like the lenient sentence they were receiving. I was like, well, damn, that's a pretty fucking good deal. They must have some fairly damning information on Trump and company. And it turns out, yes, the information that they were willing to offer to prosecutors was very damning. In fact, even though some of what we're about to cover may not be able to be used in court, given that it's hearsay to some degree, but I digress. So Jenna Ellis, in her proffer session, revealed Trump's intent to remain in office even though he lost. And this is extremely damning. Ellis said that she had talked to Trump aide Dan Scavino at a White House Christmas party to apologize for losing numerous legal challenges to the election. Well, she says Scavino stopped her, and he said to me in a kind of excited tone, well, we don't care, and we're not going to leave, Ellis said. And she said, and I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, the boss, meaning President Trump, and everyone understood the boss, that's what we call him. He said, the boss is not going to leave under any circumstances. We are just going to stay in power. She continued, and I said to him, well, it doesn't quite work that way, you realize? And he said, we don't care.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Well, I guess she thought there was like 0% of this being televised.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure she expected that her, the recorded video of her proffer session wouldn't be made public in any fashion whatsoever. But yeah, so there you have it, straight from like the insider's lips. Trump and company had no intentions of leaving the White House, whether they lost the election or not. It's fucking crazy. I mean, look, again, because Todd or Carol, you're a lawyer. You understand rules of evidence far better than I probably do. But like, there are rules about hearsay, and of course, there are a couple of exceptions. I don't
no hearsay except for all the exceptions. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have like 30 minutes to go into the 4 or 5 different groupings of exceptions there are to the hearsay rule. But this is basically hearsay of hearsay. Like, this is Ellis quoting Dan Scavino, quoting conversations he's had with other people in Trump's orbit. Like, I don't know if they'll allow this particular statement in court, but given
the public opinion is somewhat damning.
Yeah, the fact that this came out, there is a small likelihood this is possibly damaging to Fani Willis's case down there in Georgia, just having this evidence be made publicly available before the trial next year. But I mean, there's also the possibility like that this particular line of questioning, Ellis won't be able to introduce this evidence in court. So, I mean, this is, just could be damning evidence that sways public opinion against Trump even more. Yeah, but here's the thing. Like, if this is the type of information she was willing to offer prosecutors, like, there's probably a lot more damning information that she can provide them, that she has like documented conversations or text messages or emails that she'd be willing to provide.
Just a beautiful soundbite and context.
Yes, this is a great soundbite and provides amazing context to the mental state of Trump at the time of the election, where he absolutely had no plans of leaving. And if you put that in context with the events that happened on January 6th, like, clearly he knew he lost, and that was an attempt by him to remain in power. I mean, which we've been saying, but it's just different. It hits different. Hearing someone who was on the inside totally confirm what we knew all along, but just like to say the quiet part out loud. It's fucking incredible.